A very, very warm good evening. This is Arunavo Chaudhary, and you are live on my YouTube channel. It's October the 30th, 2024. It's the day that a little earlier, Mohun Bagan Super Giant scored a 2-0 win against Hyderabad FC and are now second in the ISL table. It's the day after India received the silver award in the AFC Grassroots, recognition awards for grassroots silver behind Japan, and I still don't know how and why we got it. And also, of course, the day after East Bengal scored a crucial 4-0 win against Bashundhara Kings in the AFC Challenge League, while also it was earlier today announced that Hyderabad would host India versus Malaysia now on the 18th of November instead of the 19th. And looking at the ground today, yeah, the Sports Authority of Telangana have quite a bit of work to do on that pitch. Kumar, good evening. Welcome back, and everybody else as well. And at the start of the show, of course, as always, like, share, and subscribe arunfoot here on YouTube and on my other social medias if you like what you see, and support the channel. And thanks as always to all of those of you who are here with us and joining us to support the channel. So I want to ask a question regarding the marketing, whether marketing is done for top European league in Europe. But before that, Kumar, you're saying pitches in shambles. Yes, agree. And that's what I'm saying. International match coming up in about 3 weeks. So that's going to be a question. Kumar, are you saying that if the Premier League is promoted in Germany or La Liga is promoted in England or the Bundesliga in Spain, is that your question? If you could clarify on that one, I'll try and answer that. Blue says Hyderabad pitch is in negative rating condition. One of Hyderabad FC player got injured also. Yeah, Blue. That's why this is something where we come back in regard to we're talking about infrastructure and what the quality is or should be, needs to be, and at the moment, in my opinion, that infrastructure needs to be better. Again, the Sports Authority of Telangana, of course, have to be complimented for developing the stadium, and on the other side, and now they have to, hopefully they will work on the pitch and improve the pitch, and make the ground better, because again, an international match comes up, even though, of course, we have the example last year from the Merdeka Cup when India went to Malaysia, and let's wait and see what happens. Kumar saying promoting in their own country. I don't think. Does the Bundesliga market itself here? They don't do that much. What I would say, depending on clubs, for example, which has gone back, for example, here we are very close to, let's say, Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen used to promote tickets for their games. The league, I think a league has a marketing knowledge. I think 95% of people know what the Bundesliga is. So therefore, I don't think they need to market it. The same applies for the Premier League, and the same applies for La Liga, Serie A, Ligue 1. I think in European countries, their local leagues are such giants of sports in their local countries that I don't think they need to do any kind of that marketing that you would need in developing, evolving football countries, leagues, as, for example, India happens to be. So that's, I think, the difference between us and other markets. I don't know why. I have a feeling since Manvir and both scored, they will definitely be in the squad for the Malaysia game. Waman, I would have said, scoring or not scoring, I thought they would have been there anyway. Again, Manvir, yes, but Tuashish Bose would have said maybe, might be better for him to, maybe have a rest. But again, who are the other better players to come in, right? We've been speaking about it. And then, consistency, right? So these foreign players come to India. Why Indian players don't go to other countries means India is so low ranked. Mank, first, there are two. Yeah, our low ranking is an issue. I think that is one. And the second thing is our players, the salaries they get in India, they will get nowhere else in the world. And, it's not only just the salaries, but also, the love, the acceptance that there is in the country, and the social media stardom that a lot of them nowadays have. You will not get that in other countries. In other countries, you'll have to work hard and try to get somewhere And that is I think, very, very tough for an Indian footballer to go abroad to prove himself, herself. Again, the same thing applies for the women's as well. And that is something. Blue saying Liston is missing everything. Yeah, came on, had 2-3 good chances today, but couldn't score, and and then could have gotten a little bit of confidence out of this game. Interesting also to see how Molina rotated his squad today. So therefore, it's always a question of how do you play, what do you do, and players like Liston, they have potential. Let's see, maybe next match. But again, it's a question of can he do it consistently? In a season of 24 matches, can he at least get the ball on target, right? At least get it on target, let's say in 20 games. Not scoring in 20 games, but get shots on target. I think that's the consistency that I think we need, not only from him, but I think from most of our wingers. That's the problem. When we talk about a winger, he has 2, 3, maybe 4 good games, but then is he consistent enough? Another, ball rolling is big problem today. Problem was grass. Is there somewhere grass is not there? Somewhere there, where on the pitch? Yeah, Kumar. Yeah. As I said, the pitch wasn't good enough, and therefore, if you as I said, the grass wasn't good enough. Period. AIFF getting award, is it like complimentary? Mank, no, it wasn't. And I still don't know how we could get it, but yeah. 5 yellow cards today for Mohun Bagan. Yeah, there were a few in the end. Yeah. Ashish Ranta this afternoon, Khel now. Do you think we need a top to bottom change or from bottom to top? Renal, Ashish can rant, I could rant, other people could rant on social media, write stuff. I did a video today on the topic of leadership. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but where I throw open the question, what kind of leadership does Indian football need, right? And I just wanted to compare. I did a couple of days ago, who's to blame for Indian football's failure? That has been watched by more than 1,200 people. This other video has had only 31 views. So the question also to the fans is, who are supposedly so worried about Indian football and its future and all, but when we come to talk about the topic, people don't want to discuss it. A lot of people, again, I've said that to some of you as well. Sorry. For me, the question is, are people willing to listen to what the problem is? Are people willing to discuss what the issues are, right? And it's not a question of top to bottom, bottom to top. This will not happen in Indian football. Let's be realistic. There might be a few changes here and there, and those changes need to work, right? So the question is, can we have the right leadership at the top who will take tough calls? Will the stakeholders play game to those tough calls, tough decisions? Will everybody fall in line in the interest of Indian football, or do they only care about themselves? And this is a big problem. As many people say, oh, you know what, I do whatever I do for Indian football. No, you don't do it for Indian football. You do it for yourself. A lot of these people do that. Sorry to say that, but that's the reality. And to me, that is something where we need to be very, very clear, and what we're going to do, what we're not going to do, and how can we progress, right? And that's the challenge that we face in Indian football. In today's Indian football, we face that as the biggest problem is, yes, the AIFF deserves every bit of blame that they get. But it is not only the AIFF which has failed, it is the whole system which has failed, right? It is the clubs, it is the academies, it is the coaches, it is the players, everybody, the media, even the fans, even I don't take myself out of it. I've been part of the system for long. We all have failed, right? But the question is, what are we willing to do to change that, right? And it is also on the people who are in key positions in different areas who will have to take a call if we want to improve Indian football. And that is not happening. That is my biggest concern. People know what the problems are. People know that decisions need to be taken, but they're not willing to do it. That is the problem. How do you get that to happen? And therefore, it's not a question of top to bottom, bottom to top. It is right for Ashish to talk about it. But this is something where people with influence need to ensure that there is a future. Because at the moment, the way things are going, if you think things are bad today, on this 30th of October 2024, I don't even want to think ahead over the next 6 months or 12 months what's going to happen. If you think the situation is bad now, if things do not change dramatically over the next 3-4 months, things will get even worse. That is my biggest concern. Note down this day. We can have a conversation in 6 months. And I said that last year. I said that last year, that if things are not changed, things will not get better. It is, if you fall for these show things, it's not going to happen. And that's my biggest concern. For which grassroots development AIFF awarded by AFC, it's a big irony. Prashant, I don't know. So for me, again, these kind of awards are handed over because you on paper fulfill criteria. If I've understood it right, AIFF has fulfilled papers on criteria on paper, and therefore they've received that silver award, right? Nepal has even got the best one for governance, and people in Nepal are laughing about it. So therefore, again, what you do, that's what I always say, right? In theory, on paper, a lot of things can be done. But the implementation and what you see in reality, that is the key. And that is where we're failing. The implementation of development and everything else which is linked to it. We're failing at all levels. I do not like Liston is why he's dribbling instead of passing to other players. He will do practice shooting session after match. Kumar, yeah, he does it. He will do it. He will continue to do it. If you like it, I like it. Doesn't matter. Why we removed our bid for Asian Cup in favor of Saudi? Blue, that's a question for Kalyan Chaube and Shaji Prabhakaran to answer. Right? Their logic at the time was, if I am right, that you know what, our strategy as AIFF has changed. We don't want to do big ticket events. We focus on everything else, which is an irony, because if we like it or not, I will give the credit to the old AIFF dispensation, because they together, because FIFA AFC also told them, organize big tournaments that will help you develop infrastructure. Hosting the AFC under 16s and then the under 17 World Cup, and then hosting the AFC Women's Championship, the AFC Women's Asian Cup, sorry, if that's the right name. If we look at us hosting also the under 17 Women's World Cup, all of these things have led to that we have better infrastructure today in India. And one of the biggest things is development of better training facilities. So that is something, so therefore that's a reality, right? Thanks, Akash, for your Kali Pujo greetings from my side. Also, Shubho Kali Pujo and happy upcoming Diwali to everyone. Hope you are blessed by the festival of light, and that we all pray to whoever God that you believe in or you pray to, that they help us. That Indian football gets better in the future. Hyderabad FC fitness is not up to the level. Kumar, I still, I feel that sometimes there's a little experience lacking, that it's the foreigners are the key. If you see the successful years of Hyderabad FC, players like João Victor, Uday, Bartok Beche, they were crucial. And they don't have those kind of foreigners because they were late in the market. So that makes the difference. I think if the foreigners were good, Hyderabad could be a little better than they are at the moment. Thanks, Neil. I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing good as well. Kumar says, ISL clubs care only for tomorrow. They are not thinking how to survive for long term. Yeah. But I think, Kumar, you can generalize it to most clubs in India. I think I was having a discussion with someone yesterday who was blaming the ISL and FSDL for everything. And then I asked the question, what's been happening since 1996 when the NFL came? What happened since 2007 when the I-League started? I mean, when the I-League started, it was a match in Goa, Salgaonkar. I don't remember Salgaonkar against someone. And I happened to be in South Africa. And the next day, Sepp Blatter created that phrase is, India is the sleeping giant of world football. And, don't forget me, India. I remember Mr. Blatter looking at me and some others who were looking at me actually and then saying, don't forget India. So therefore, no one is thinking about the long term. In Indian football, most of the entities are looking at the short term because for long term thinking also, that money needs to come in for you to have a certain level of stability and say, listen, you know what, I'm going to invest for something in Appala. Sorry. I need to look at things which are long term. I need to understand what is long term success. That is something which is not happening, and therefore that is something which is in the Indian system. They care about, now, tomorrow. Even some don't even care about tomorrow. Some people care about today, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. And that is it's not just ISL clubs. I think you can generalize to a lot of teams. There are exceptions to the rule, but most teams in Indian club football think about now rather than the future, because also the people who are running the entities don't even know, are you going to be there next year? Are you going to be there in 2 years, in 3 years? Are you going to be there in 5 years? That's part of the problem. Sir, our current rank is 125th. That means there are 80 countries above us. So we're 8 years behind. How are there 80 countries above us? If we're 125th, there are 124 countries above us, and there is no years we are behind countries. There are certain countries who are most probably above us who are not better than us. But I think there are a lot of countries behind us who might be better than us as well. So therefore, these, if you can create these kind of rankings, if the whole world was playing against Raja on a regular basis, that's not happening, right? So therefore, again, I like to say we are about between 125, 120, 125. At the moment, we are most probably about 130, 140. If I look at our standards over the last, now 10, 11 months, we haven't won since that game in Kuwait nearly a year ago. So therefore, these are Mayank, these are the realities of where we stand in Indian football. If Bhutan can host AFC Challenge League, why can't we? We should host this kind of competitions where we can perform well. Akash, there was an application period for the league and the clubs. For the federation, for the national federation and the clubs, and and nobody picked it up. So it was on East Bengal and not East Bengal, but it was on East Bengal and the AIFF to think of if they want to do it, and East Bengal didn't consider it. So therefore, they didn't bid to host the Challenge League. Some ISL clubs youth development do only on papers. Kumar, yes, but again, it's not only on them, it's other teams. As I say, you can generalize it for a lot of teams. If you want to see the real development, it's mainly happening in states like Mizoram and Manipur. Mizoram, again, with all its difficulties, doing in Manipur at civil war in some sort of form or phase, doing it, and therefore, you're right. For example, can AIFF develop Indian football until at least at the best run state affairs, or are these idiots because the state affairs are getting away with the lack of doing something? Roshan, very, very good question in the sense of the system is such, right, that Our problem happens to be that, we try to get away with jugaad. We try and find shortcuts of doing things rather than doing that hard legwork which is needed to develop. Development, grassroots is a long-term planning, is a long-term investment. We don't want to do it. We don't want to do it because somehow the others, the system has worked. In the old days, let's be honest about it, the big clubs, especially the Kolkata clubs, used to survive off the Tata Football Academy. Tata Football Academy used to provide the best young players every 2 years, 25 of them, of those cadets. Kalyan Chobe is one of them. Renedy Singh is another one. Deepak Mondal, Mahesh Goli, all these guys, right? Shubhat Pal, whatever, even Udanta, all of them are Tata Football Academy products. And they've gotten away with it. So therefore, yeah, the state affairs, there are those who do the work. As I said, Mizoram for me is always a very, very good example. Who do the work. Others are trying. Karnataka have tried, but it's not Karnataka which is doing it. It's more that it's like Bangalore is doing it, right? Bengal football is not Bengal football. It is Kolkata football. So therefore, also these kind of problems persist. Kerala is trying to do it pan-state, but Kerala, with all the love, passion, talent that they have, the Kerala Football Association, has to do more. And the Kerala Super League or Super League Kerala, however you want to call it, that is not your answer to your problems. You should strengthen your Kerala Premier League. I did commentary on that 2 years ago. Yeah, that's the reality where it stands. They are filling criteria on paper. Yep, Kumar. It's better for us fans to distance ourselves from Indian football, not good for our mental health. I generally want to know how fans are responsible for downfall, if at all it's 5% fans' responsibility. Neil, the one thing, before I get to, I get to the second part. The first part is never distance yourself from Indian football would be my request and my piece of advice to anyone. If people give up on Indian, I for myself will never give up on Indian football. Even if we go to 200 in the rankings and it is really literally dead. People are now saying Indian football is dead. No, Indian football isn't dead. Indian football is alive and kicking. But the patient, which was supposedly, a sleeping giant, now seems to have gone into a coma. Right? If we want to stick to that medical term. To me, Indian football needs to find means and ways of growing. And the fans need to ask the questions. Last year, I remember when I did a show with Rahul after the SAF, and I was very critical about us winning because I thought we didn't play well. Yeah, I was happy we won it. I was there. I celebrated. I met, interacted with players. To me it's very simple. The fans have celebrated stuff where they should be asking questions. The fans were involved in trying to get Indian football to the Asian Games. They fell for that trap from Igor Stimac and Kalyan and whoever was involved in that, right? There was no need. We should have sent the under-20s, period. But the point here at the end of the day is the fans can play a crucial role. And I'm not saying it's your responsibility, but the fans have a role to play. If it's 5%, if it's 2%, if it's 10%, it doesn't matter. But the fans at this stage, at this juncture, need to raise their voice on the right topics. My problem is that the fans are raising their voice and saying, these guys need to step in, those guys need to step in. Do you think that Sai and the sports ministry stepping in will solve the problems? What have they done in other sporting federations? This matters worse, right? So the question is, who can step in? The point is, one needs to go to the good state association and say, guys, act. You guys need to act. Go to those state associations, say, you guys need to act. Yeah? That is what we need. I don't think we improved any infrastructure in this new regime. No. Everything that's happened before. Tell me one thing, Blue or anybody else. What has improved over the last few days? 2 years, sorry, not last few days, 2 years. Name me one thing which has substantially improved. Sorry to say, I can't find anything. Everything has gotten worse. We were coming out of COVID. This ban, again, and I go back, I'll be very arrogant on this, and I can praise myself on this. I was the only bloody person who was saying, guys, we will get banned. And everybody said, no, nahi hoga. It will not happen. That's the reality. That is the reality, that people who are running football, who are involved in football, we have a certain level of arrogance. And FIFA gave us a leeway for, I think, 3-4 years. They should have banned us in 2018, right? This is what they're not forgetting. The so-called heroes who celebrate themselves, oh, I've done this. No, you are destroying Indian football. This is what we need to wake up to. There are a lot of rotten elements who are destroying Indian football for their personal gains. They will tell you in your face, I'm promoting Indian football, but they're not doing anything. When will Cho will get up? Okay, sort of. I don't know. He's still sleeping in Korea. Yeah, most probably on his way back. I've heard that FSDL will be corporate partner, means they will repeat the same model as of now. Akash, I don't know what they're going to do. They're trying to talk to other people. One thing that people needs to understand, if I like FSDL or not, if you like FSDL or not, they are pumping 50 crores a year into the AIFF and a figure X per year into the ISL. I know there are people who say, oh, you know what? They're making money of the ISL. How can they make money of the ISL? Anyone who says that is stupid. Sorry to say that. Stupid or delulu or, lives in La La Land, whatever you want to call these people. So that is the reality, that people have an own agenda and trying to destroy, these are the realities. That is why we are here, because people believe people who are doing, bullshit stories and saying, oh, this is the reality of Indian football. And, the reality is somewhere totally different. That is the real challenge of Indian football at the moment. So that's there. That's there. And we need to fight for that for the right reasons. Otherwise, we're not going to get anywhere. That is the challenge Indian football in today's world has. Where are we getting with it? That's the question. There's only one friendly left with Malaysia. Sort of, yeah. But why? Ask yourself the question, why? The question is very simple. Because the federation doesn't have money to play a second game somewhere. That's the reality. And then we should ask the question, you have had last year 120 crores to spend. You had more than 50 crores as fixed deposit somewhere. All of that money seems to have gone. Where did it go? Right? You're running less competitions but spending more money? How is that happening? How about Women's AFC Asian Cup qualifiers 2026? When it will happen? To me, next year. I don't know the dates, but I think as far as I know, next year the qualifiers will start. Hi, Uchut, Kali Puja greetings and happy birthday once more. Thank you very, very much. Just on the technical aspect, we need good coaches, players, and referees. Will you be sending a kid to a school that doesn't have good teachers and infra? Very valid point, Uchut. Very, very valid point. Our biggest problem, in my opinion, are the coaches. And if I've had discussions with some, they don't want to accept it. So therefore, that's part of the problem. And the players think of themselves their Real Madrid level. I think some of them watch too much of Vinny Jr. and that level of arrogance doesn't help. Does not help. Good evening, Ishan. Welcome back. By the way, till now in ISL's SOFA score, BFC is the one who are overperforming XG by far. Movies is the one who are underperforming XG the most. Mohun Bagan, Chennai are also underperforming. Musiti come back should be close. Okay. But these are stats, right? The thing is, these stats are helpful if you're trying to prepare a team and trying to do stuff. But if you look at the reality, you could have an X rating, XG rating of 0 and still score a goal and win. So that is, again, we come to the theory and the reality. One chance out of nothing, you can win a game. So these are all things which are there. Ornavada, gods will also give Varalu when people work hard, not raising hands, sea to sky, asking gods to give you what you want. So now I watched your old videos. Wow, you met APJ Abdul Kalam. Yeah, man, I've met the former president or the late president. And yeah, I've worked for a few channels in the past as well in this part. When will Ishfaq, Ranjan Chaudhary and women's coach will get sacked? Saurabh, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Because that's sorry. After 10 years, no ISL club did not build their own academy or strong youth development individual for every club. Instead, they're not even thinking about that till now. Kumar, again, wrong info because, again, yes, BFC is not a full-time ISL team, but they had their infrastructure. They didn't have it. They actually built it over the last 4 or 5 years, so that BFC has it. Jamshedpur have it. FC Goa has built something. The Blasters have something in place as well. Northeast United is starting to build it. So these are, it's not there, but it's not of the level that we need, right? That's our problem, right? Is Mizoram producing good technical level players? Yeah, some of them are better, some of them are worse, as everybody else, Renal. Yeah, you have players like Changte, but then you also have other players who are technically weaker. National U7 team should be in I-League 3 and U20 must be there in I-League. I don't have expertise in full match at all. Yeah, but Akash, nice conversation to have, but if you don't have the money, you can't even have this discussion, right? The Indian under-20s are not playing because we don't have, so for me, yeah, it's a matter of money. So it's not a question. Some of these questions are decided on if they want to do it or not. Some of these questions are, do I have the money or not? So what's your opinion on Kiel Now TV and the journalism of football? I think you can feature with them for a wide exposure in your football failures. Dhruv, thanks a lot. Again, Ashish and his team have been reporting for X number of years on not only Indian football but sports. So therefore, great platform. It's not for me to go there and say, listen, I want to be on your platform. It's if they want, I can surely join them for the one or the show, but it's on them, So therefore, it's not for me to offer myself to these kind of things. I know that some of you have been suggesting go here, go there. It doesn't happen that way. I don't barge myself in and say, listen, you need to take me. I need to be on your show or whatever. No, if someone approaches me, yeah, I will do shows, but I will not force myself into these. If you understand what I mean. Infrastructure developed only due to FIFA U17 World Cup last. Kumar, also not right. Some of the infrastructure, yes, was developed for the Under-17 World Cup, but some of the infrastructure was also developed due to the ISL. The Mumbai Football Arena would not be there if there wasn't an ISL team, right? So there are realities, and this ISL bashing, guys, or FSDL bashing, do it. There are people who love to do it, but what have they done themselves, except destroying Indian football? My home state association is non-existent, dead. The only notable person I know from Tengala State Association is Shabir Ali. Is very old and not sure what he accomplished in the last decade. Rohit, but that's part of the problem, right? Shabir Ali, Shabida, with all that he's done, good coach in his time, but he's tried to keep Telangana football alive in the small little ways that he could have and done. So I give him credit for that. But what the federation status is, that is part of the problem. We should have more friendlies because just one friendly will not improve our game. Sort of 100% agree with you. But the problem is last month, unlucky, Lebanon pulled out because of the realities of the Middle East. And this month, we don't have money. And nobody also, the other reality is that who wants to play us? That's another question that we have to ask ourselves. I've seen 2018 whenever U13 squad, they all looks like my uncle. And that brings us to another problem of Indian football, right? When we talk about our under-17s, are we really talking about an under-17 team? Well, I believe FSDL must be there in ISL. Without them, we go back to I-League 2012, 2013. Yeah. Just think, the AIFF is unable to organize the I-League. Do you want the AIFF to organize an ISL? Do you think the AIFF is capable of organizing an ISL in the way it is being run and organized at this moment? Just think over it, right? Ashish today said there is conversations that FSL might only give a percentage of money that to only for ISL. AIFF is trying to get other sponsors from market. See, the problem is FSDL has, by the time this contract is end, they will have given 750 crores to the AIFF since late 2010, right? 750 crores would have gone to the AIFF. They wanted to make the ISL a success. They wanted to make it a success for themselves. They want to make it a success for the franchises, for the AIFF, because if they're earning extra money, the AIFF would get more money. The franchises would get money. So that was there. But there is one thing that I say, having been involved before and during season one, is that there was this wrong assumptions of, you know what, we can copy certain elements that were there in the IPL. I think that's the biggest mistake that so therefore that's a reality. And if the AIFF is trying to get other sponsors, who will come forward? Right. This Indigo deal was made possible by an individual because he has a relationship with the higher ups at Indigo. It was none of these AIFF people who've done it. That's the reality. And that person had to go after 6 months because, people didn't like that he was capable of doing. There are people who could do these kind of things. But at the moment, who will put even 1 rupee who will give 1 rupee to the AIFF? Anyone who's serious, who has a business. If you were running a business, if I was running a business and I've got different sponsorship opportunities, would I go to the AIFF? Would I go maybe to an ISLD? Or would I say, you know what, I'd rather go to cricket, most probably. Or if I have less money, may I go to, I don't know, kabaddi? Might I go to pickleball or whatever? There's a lot of options, right? Or now this argument, FSDL destroying football doesn't make sense. They would really make money if Indian football. FSDL would really make money out of Indian football if it spread and market grows. Or I'm missing something. They don't want to have anything of it. Indian football stays that poor. Yeah, exactly. Roshan, that is one point that a lot of people don't understand. If they had made Indian football an industry, I don't know of how many crores, they would have been earning a certain percentage of that. That is something which you very, very correctly and very rightly say. And that is something which I feel is very difficult for people which don't want to understand that fact that that is a reality. They thought if we're spending 50 crores, I remember in 2010 they were saying, hopefully they will be able to generate, let's say 200 crores down the road. They would, in AIFF would get money, they would get money, and it would all work. They would not have to spend money out of their own pocket, but they have spent, or by the end of this contract, they will have spent 750 crores on the All India Football Federation alone. Let's just think in that figure, 15 years of money. I don't really believe AIFF don't have money to spend. Pranjal, it doesn't matter what you believe or what you don't believe, but the reality is the AIFF at the moment has a financial issue. Why are all these tournaments being delayed? Why are they trying to cut corners here and there? Why, for example, is the Malaysia match now being played on the 18th of November in Telangana? Because the Telangana government is supporting the AIFF to host the game and taking over certain costs of the game. Very simple. They showed crores of money for water paper and other things. Blue, those things are nice discussions and fun and whatever, but that doesn't make the fish big. Those we're talking about lakhs here and there. Listen, we're talking about crores. We're talking about, we're talking about hundreds of crores, and those are no longer available. That's the reality. Is it your birthday today? Yes, Pranjal, it is. Abhishek, thanks a lot. Thanks, Mayank. Dada, do you think AIFF FSDL can make profit out of ISL in future? If yes, how? Means what are the changes need to make to generate money? They don't need to make any changes. They just need to make the product so interesting for television channels that a television channel is willing to spend money on it. Everything else doesn't matter, and that's the reality. That's the only way we will. Television money is going to be the revenue earner for Indian football to grow. Without that, it's not going to happen, and that's the challenge that Indian football has. How do you make the product so interesting that you can generate revenue? That's the problem. That is the problem of Indian football. How do we generate enough money to be able to do things that we need to do? How was your experience with Abdul Kalam? Kumar had a very, of course, on one side we did the interview, but we also had a little bit of time to chit chat. A man with an aura. Let's keep it as that. But in a long league, don't you think XG will average out? It will, but my point is, again, these are stats, and therefore sometimes stats are nice to have in individual matches. Sometimes stats, again, what people talk about ball possession and all that stuff. No, for me is that, I'd rather have 30% of ball possession, but I score 2 goals and I win a game. So you have to be practical, right? Now that the Bellary one is combined for athletes and footballers, now the academy means proper specific for. No, Kumar, why do I need a specific academy for football? We have clubs here in Europe where their academies are multi-sports facilities. Real Madrid's facilities, not just for footballers, the basketball players use it. The Barca is also used by the basketball players. Paris Saint-Germain is used by basketball or by the handball players. Bayern Munich as well. So therefore, infrastructure is built for multi-sport, and if you can use it, so therefore, if Bellary is a multi-sports facility, what's the problem with that? As long as you have good football pitches and you've got other infrastructure which you can utilize it. That's what they're doing in Bellary. Can we request other journalism platforms to want you to talk to them? Sure, Rohit. Anyone, all of you guys, go ahead and suggest my name. If people are interested, I'm always open to talk. If they want to invite me, more than welcome to talk. So therefore, I don't have a problem with that. If you want to, more than welcome to do that. It's for the other platforms to decide if they want someone like me or they don't. I'm not saying that IS is not developed. What I want to say, more amount of money directly hit on stadiums during U17 World Cup, another Mumbai football taken care by Mumbai City. No, it's not taken care by Mumbai City. Who said Mumbai City built or is involved in that? It's Aditya Thackeray who made it possible. None of these clubs have any opportunities to, except Jamshedpur FC, of course, because again, Tata Nagar or Jamshedpur is Tata City, so to say. All other teams are playing in facilities which have been given to them. So that's a reality, right? So therefore, for us, infrastructure, if even people want to, it's not working. Can Super League Kerala be bad for Kerala football long term since it reduces interest in Kerala Premier League without promotion relegation? Babalu's animation, I have to say two things. Having done commentary 2 years ago on the Kerala Premier League, I saw limited interest in the Kerala Premier League, right? Most often the grounds were empty. There were 15, 20, on a good day, 100 people sitting over there and watching a game somewhere or the other. So therefore, that is one reality. That is also a reality that was there in the I-League, right? For a lot of clubs. On the other side, Super League Kerala, the approach was there again to create something and also create infrastructure. They are very ambitious, but it's not getting there, right? And again, they're trying to do shortcuts which are not working. They were very ambitious. They were actually willing to spend as much of money as ISL teams are spending, right? They're spending more than most I-League teams at the moment. But what is your product, right? Players who've played in the ISL and I-League, foreigners, and over the age Indian players and some talented players from Kerala. That's what this league is. Could have been money invested differently? Most probably, yes, in a more wise way. I believe the student will be as good as the teacher guide him to be. The lack of quality coaches are also part of not improving. Neil, 100%. And I think that is something people don't want to accept. Our biggest problem is the lack of quality coaches, And yeah, therefore, I hope we can change things, but at the moment, looks difficult. Any update on next AIFF election? We desperately need professionals to run. Why can't AIFF hire some sports management group for managing things? They will surely save some money and will be affordable. Akash, elections, again, depend on one side on the on the Supreme Court and what FIFA and AFC say. It will be interesting to find out what the conversation with FIFA and AFC were yesterday and today on this matter with the AIFF. But and sports, why a sports management group will be cheaper? They have a sports management partner, right, in FSDL. And still the AIFF has to run its own house, and they're unable to run their own house, which they were able to do until 2 years ago. So therefore, you will not save money by handing it out by a sports management agency. It doesn't work that way. The coaching is not considered as a good career. Unfortunately, player earn good money. I don't see Indian coaches earning good money. Neil, Indian coaches are earning very good money for the standard of coaching that they deliver. Think about this. At youth level, at most top clubs in Europe, at under 9, let's say under 7, under 9, under 11, under 13, coaches are part-timers, right? They don't have a full-time job. They have a job and then they do a little bit of coaching on the side, and they want to become full-time coaches, or they are students. A good friend of mine is in one of the Bundesliga academies, and he's studying. And besides studying, he's a coach. And he's with the Bundesliga team, with their academy. And he's now assistant of the under-17s. In India, all coaches are full-time coaches, right? So therefore, this thing with money is if people want to hear it or not, I don't know. Player who were thinking their level of Vinicius Junior, asked them to do basics of football. No, they are in delusion or in pandemonium. Yeah, Kumar. Shubho Jamadin Dada, thanks Akash. Have a good day. Thanks Neil. Appala, thanks Saurabh. Roshan, vielen lieben Dank. Thanks a lot. Kumar, thanks a lot as well. What is Telangana trying to accomplish by hosting a Malaysia game? Just trying to revive fan. I don't know if that is the reason, Rohit. That would be it's an interesting question that you're throwing up, but yeah. It's what can you accomplish by spending a few crores here and there? Nothing, right? So yeah, let's see. I wish to become rich enough to develop and invest in something like La Masia in India and recruit players for my club. Will give them international coaches from Grassroots someday. Proof, please. And if you need help in that, let me know. Would love to work on something like that. Thanks, Vaman. Thanks, Rohit. Thanks, Dhruv as well. Thanks, Blue. Manosa, did you see the condition of the pitch pathetic? This is where India versus Malaysia will be played. Manolo, the first thing I discussed today, you can watch the start of this show. Yeah, it's the reality of where we are at this moment, and it's in my opinion, it's a problem. But let's see what the Telangana government does with the sports authority. Maybe they can rectify a little bit here and there. Yeah, let's see where they take it. Kerala Super League interest has gone nowhere at the start. Yeah, Kumar, the idea is good, but I don't know if it's yeah. Happy birthday, sir. Thanks, Blue. What's happening today? Thanks, Ishan. I heard today in Kerala that the game is scheduled to be held in November, since everyone will get to use it for free. Yeah, of course, Ishan. That's what I said, right? They're not only getting it to use it for free, there will be other financial support also from the government. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. And that's the criteria now to where to play. North Korea 70 women's team just go for a World Cup, and here in India, still they got AFC award. How? Yeah, Ritam, I don't know. I would love to know how, where, when, who, what was the criteria. I would love to know, but so yeah, I don't know where it's gonna do. Thanks, Dark Knight. Learn new thing about coaches earning well. Thanks. Yeah, Neil. I'm not saying all coaches are earning well, but if you think that for most coaches it's their full-time job, then I think it can't be that bad. But Ochut pointing out, very important, yeah, a lot of coaches will have a government job, yeah, because a lot of them are ex-players, so they get government jobs Railways, banks were an option in the past as well. So therefore, yeah, those options were there in the past. Where are players in NFL and I-League are also overpaid? Is this a recent trend? Ishan, for the standard of football they were playing, and I know some of these players were quite angry with me when I used to say that in the early 2000s, that for the standard, they were in my opinion, they were overpaid. If you think, what these players got elsewhere or what they would be worth elsewhere, yeah, they have been, they are, and they will most probably be overpaid. That's a huge problem in Indian football, I feel. Actually, remind me, the Supreme Court thing is about the draft AIFF it's about the constitution, yes, and then this is actually an interim body, right? So that's the other problem, that the courts in India are too slow, and again, FIFA, AFC are very, very unhappy with it. And the other problem is that the draft constitution actually needs to go to FIFA and AFC as well, which has also not been done. So therefore, a lot of these things which are interlinked haven't happened. So therefore, yeah, that's something, Can we see VR in 2030 or before that? Sort of, I don't even know. I can't even put a guess to it. It's something which we are looking at. Right, more than 50 minutes on this 30th of October 2024, and thanks again for the birthday wishes to all of you. If I've missed anyone and showing it, if you like what you're seeing, share, and do subscribe to the channel. Let's keep on growing the community. 12 likes so far. 1,865 people who have subscribed to the channel. Let's slowly push it towards the 2,000. Let more people join in our conversations, guys. We need to be more vocal and stronger about these things. Otherwise, I guess things will not change. So therefore, thanks as always for your support. And again, I will try and do these shows as regular as I can. Can AIFF hand over the administration to Reliance and FSDL? No, Renal, don't think that. First of all, it's not possible. And secondly, I think FSDL is not interested in running the affairs of the AIFF. They have got enough homework to do with the ISL, with RFDL, and there are other things. And again, they have not also been, let's be honest about it, they have not also been perfect. If they really did, and I made certain suggestions to them in 2014, which I think are still valid today, and they haven't done those things, then things will not happen. Chief Justice of India is retiring on 10th November 2022. So what will be the pending decision of draft constitution? So I don't know what the hearing date has been pushed, and I don't know what the status is at the moment, right? Another, I will tell you why Telangana government. I will tell you the whole story. The Ravant Reddy is incumbent Chief Minister of Telangana government. Why he's doing? Because a few months back. Okay, enlarge continued. We will hear that. The whole ecosystem at lower levels is part-time, interest-driven, like coaches, referees. I hope we will have a similar culture in our country in the future. I think, Ishan, that's a very, very important point, that we need to create that culture, that environment where we are willing to push, sports. And where you realize is that if I can't make a living out of it, that it becomes sort of something of enjoyment. I know that is difficult for people in the middle class, or even more in the lower class, because people are struggling to make ends meet. I know that is a reality. But these are things that we need to change. Otherwise, things will not get better. And that's, in my opinion, a challenge that Indian football simply has at this moment. And we'll have to wait and see if how and when things will change in such a way that we are anywhere near where we ourselves think we are, or we could be, we need to be. I think that's a huge challenge for Indian football these days. Full reforms is needed. The small change will do nothing. Ritam, yes, but do you think realistically full reforms or a big level of reform will happen? Let's be realistic. Even small change in this system, in this current scenario, is very, very, very difficult, as we see. What's the rationale behind FIFA taking strict action against third-party government intervention, putting bans like a ban on India? Ishan, the one thing that the International Olympic Association, as the you know the the guardians of sport around the world have done is that they've created a global structure where it doesn't matter if it's democracy, if it's an autocracy, if it's run by royals, whatever, that it is that there's one system where sports somewhat is independent of government interference or political interference. It works in most countries. In certain parts of the world, it doesn't work, but again, you have to live with it. And therefore, again, why is the government intervening, right? Because most of the time, if a government intervenes, they are not happy with the people running the affairs because the people are not, so to say, either the people or the sporting body is not in line with the government, and therefore it's not the perfect system, but it's most probably the best that we have in the world of sport, and therefore it's sporting bodies, global bodies or regional bodies actually work better than even the United Nations. Once back at Naj gathering, sorry, he said he was a state football player. So do not this was true or not, but he want to show he was doing something. That is the reason he has been organizing the matches and putting money. Okay, Kumar, thanks for that info. Lion Claw says we deserve silver award. Better not to say anything on that, I think. Ronaldo, why do you have only 2 spots in AFC? Akshay, why only? Why do we have 2 spots? Do we deserve more spots? I don't think so. Where all the reserve AIFF money gone? Darknet, I don't know. That's a question for the AIFF to answer. For the AIFF, not for me, but for the AIFF. You know. Do you think Udanta and Thapa peaked too early? Udanta had a good spell. Thapa as well. No, I don't think so. Happy birthday, sir. Thank you. When is relegation expected to start in the Indian Super League? What impact do you think it will have on the overall gameplay and competitors of league? Earliest, I think 2026, 2027 most probably. Will it have an impact? I'm not sure if it will be. Because it is a question of will it be more competitive, or is that a danger if teams drop down from the ISL to the I League, that clubs, entities, franchises might shut down? That I think that's a big danger I feel is there, and therefore that will be interesting to see if that happens or doesn't happen. And therefore we'll have to wait and see what happens over there. FIFA has more members than you, and this gives FIFA enormous power related to football. Yeah. According to you, is Reliance Ray doing good work in Mizoram along with MFA? I have high hopes on Tete. Mizoram's population like 3 times of Iceland. If they're doing good work or not, we will see in 10 to 15 years. That's So how about AFC should change the rules for qualification Asian Cup World Cup because of any country withdraw from don't get other teams not benefit? So that's the problem of these kind of competitions in regard to qualifiers. In this case, of course, it hit a group of 4. If it had hit a group of 5, it wouldn't have been an issue. But these are all realities. I think if you ask me, the best thing would be if 5 second place teams out of 10, the best would have been if I look at the top 5, bottom 5, You know, um, I would have done, all the 10 teams who finished second, throw them together, made a draw, top five, bottom five. I don't know how you would have done it, and then play home and away, and then let the best teams qualify. That might be fair. I don't know. If everyone really wants to do good for Telangana football, his administration could ban Telangana State League. Akash, no, help the Telangana Football Association to run leagues, right? Not themselves. The government don't run leagues, in my opinion. Do you think Reliance also can open up a hyper-local system? Kerala, don't think so. I don't think they would be interested. Sir Ashish Negi came to the same conclusion as you. He said on his live that the previous dream wasn't perfect, but at least they kept the system running. The current one is even worse, he says. Yeah, but again, anyone with a little bit of knowledge, anyone who's got a little bit of understanding will say that. It's a problem, and it's a problem. We are getting nowhere with what we're doing at the moment, right? So therefore, for me, that's the challenge we have at this moment, to try and create something which can challenge in some sort of form or way a system that we can create. So yeah, that's the reality. That's the reality. I hope we can get better, but at the moment, and I've worked with these people in the past. I know them quite well, and in my roles with the clubs, with entities who work with the AIFF, yeah, they knew also their own limitations, or the limitations of the system. So keeping the system running was always in itself a challenge. I have seen 0% passion by Indian players in last 2 years. When I see the Nepal and Bangladesh passion, it's miles apart. Neil, I said that over the last 2 days. I have been especially impressed by the Nepalese. Nepal, I think Bangladesh calmly, quietly has done its work. Especially in the women's game, they've improved a lot. And we in our arrogant state thought we were better. I'm not sure if relegation will go well, since the franchise fees is a significant amount. Yeah, that's one thing. But the question is, by opening up the league, do you get the right teams to come up to strengthen the league, or do you weaken the league? That has to be also realized. I think in Germany, there is this saying, right, with the Bundesliga, the traditional clubs who have big stadiums, 40, 50,000 seater stadiums, most of them play in the second Bundesliga. So some say there is bigger interest in the second Bundesliga these days than actually in the Bundesliga. And there have been matches last season and now even this season where more fans attended games in the second Bundesliga than in the Bundesliga, which is crazy. But that is because the smaller teams have been more successful. And that is something which I think you can control and steer a little better in a system like the ISL, which you need to do in the interest of the league. Another, I was making jokes on Revant Reddy with my brother-in-law. He was the one who showed that his speech video on football statement. I was doing banter on Revant Reddy where he's putting money. Banter, not criticizing. Okay. With all these problems happening, I think a chunk load people still supporting Indian footy and keep having hopes. You are one of the pioneers of it. Thank you very much, Renil. I think for me, the important thing is I have supported Indian football. I support German football as well. So okay, that's most probably the positive side of supporting football. But to me, it's very, very important that beat me, beat you, beat anyone, everyone should keep on supporting football. If we say, you know what, I'm done with it, I don't want to support Indian football anymore, that's the worst thing that can happen to Indian football, in my opinion. So therefore, to me, it is something, that's why I did the video yesterday and saying, listen, Indian football fans need to support Indian football. Otherwise, we are going nowhere. But when I see, again, and that's what I'm saying, I've also done some videos to try and find out, what do the people want to watch, what do the people don't want to watch, because I create content for the sake of, not for the sake of creating content that people view, but, these thoughtful videos, the critical ones, people are not willing to watch. And that's, in my opinion, that's a concern. So I hope it changes, but I see it's very, very difficult. We thought Proful Patel was, but Kalyan came. I think we're having difficulty in managing. Yeah, but Abhishek, that's what I say, right? If you think, therefore, yeah, that's the reality of things. Another narrative was complaining a lot about politics in Telangana. Shabir Pasha. Shabir Ali is the name. He's not a good guy. What he shows to world, he was a football player. Again, I know Shabir Da a little, and and my experience with him has been good. So therefore, I can't agree on that. What do you think about ISL viewership? Is it going up or is it going nowhere? Today I saw 20 lakh viewership in Cinema at the end of the game. Akash, to me, that viewership is not, single users, but it's rather, cumulated. So therefore, 20 lakhs, we're talking about 2 million views over 2 hours. Doesn't sound much. Pajam Reddy said I-League 2 is the most competitive league in our country. Yeah, Pradyum could have that view. I wouldn't agree to that. But again, our national team didn't give us happy news. How about the next year? Will we see Indian ranking improve and big tournament? Will we get great news like winning? Sure, to me, I don't care about the ranking. To me, the most important thing next year will be that we move towards qualifying for the AFC Asian Cup 2027. That's all that I want to see next year. I don't care about the rest. The rest is nice to have, but to me is that Manolo Marquez and that team needs to play and show us that they can qualify for the AFC Asian Cup 2027. But I don't want more. Ranking going up, going down. If we qualify automatically, it'll go up again, right? So let's see. Akash, the views on JioCinema are cumulative, not concurrent, so that figure can be slightly misleading. Yeah, Ishan, exactly. Rohit says, I just read some articles that the new Telangana CM Ravindra Reddy wants to make Hyderabad a sporting hub in India by supporting infrastructure. Maybe it's a campaign promise, and that's why hosting. Again, if anyone is trying to do it, if he in any way wants to copy what Naveen Patnaik has done in Odisha, great, right? So therefore, if any chief minister wants to do something, let him do it. Great, any support is welcome. I hope ISL will be there for at least another 10 years. By the way, why don't the clubs approach Indian origin players for ISL? Akash, because Indian origin players would come under the foreign quota. And I don't think these guys wanna take a risk on that. So that's why they're not signing them. Shabir Ali gave a lot to Indian football. I know that. We have to give him his respect. I know he's an old chap. I just wish he mentored some younger people to lead Telangana football. Yeah, I agree, Rohit. That's why, again, people criticize people without even knowing these people, and and then say, oh, they're this or they're that. I don't know. If you haven't dealt with these people, and public persona, and this person said this person said that. My learning has always been very often in football. There's a certain level of perception, and then there's certain realities. That's what I'm hoping. Asian Cup and women's qualify for the Asian Cup, and there is U17 zone. Asian Cup qualifies in 2025. Yeah, and there will be the under-17s playing again with the yearly FIFA World Cup. That also means that the under-17 boys will be playing every year now. So therefore, 2025 again. We're at the end of October. We still have 2 months to go of this year, but I do hope that we would be better next year. And not easy. I know it's not easy for us to talk about things and hope that things will get better, but it's a challenge. It's a huge challenge at the moment, and therefore, I really hope that things get better. But I don't know, that hope is a big word these days in Indian football. So let's see where it goes. Just quickly, a sip of water, guys. Sorry. 1 hour, 10 minutes. Wow, didn't even realize. It went quite fast today. Those of you who might be new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. Arunfoot here on YouTube. If, as I said, if you like the video, the content, discussion, yeah, leave a like. 20 likes so far, 1,866 subscribers. So thank you guys. As I always say, we're growing slowly and steadily. Hopefully that continues. And yeah, one thing that I can repeat again and again and again, no, don't stop supporting Indian football. That's one big wish that I have. I know that it's tough. It's difficult sometimes to swallow what is happening. It seems like Indian football is hitting the end of the world, end of the road. But to me, we need to keep supporting Indian football, and therefore, yeah, keep supporting Indian football. That's one of my wishes on my birthday. That don't stop supporting Indian football, because otherwise, yeah, Indian football might be dead in the near future. Akash says people criticize people because it's fun to do so. It's fun. Maybe for some it's fun. For some it's easy, because in today's social media world, it's easy to criticize people. You know, to me, the question isn't about you know, and social media has made it easy, and everybody has an idea, an opinion about things and stuff, which they can have. But to me, is very often that people who are discussing things, do they have the knowledge? Do they have the understanding? Do they know how the system runs and operates? And this is my problem, right? And therefore, for me, very, very clearly, we need to, you know, we can criticize anybody and everybody, but we need to be very clear. That's why I said, you know, when people have been criticizing Ishfaq Ahmed, and I sat down with Ishfaq Ahmed 10, 11 days ago at the derby, and we were sitting at the Salt Lake Stadium, and we were sitting and speaking to each other, and I jokingly asked him, Ishfaq, what were you saying about those tall players? And then he clearly said, listen, I didn't say that in the way it has come across, right? So what, and that's the other thing. Are we willing to read the caption of a headline in a social media post, or are we willing to read the whole quote, or are we willing to watch a whole video of explaining things? Those are also some of the things that I feel that needs to be done. Again, it's very general, but yeah, that's something. Neil, coaching badges are very expensive in UK. How expensive are they in Germany? The lower level ones are cheap, the entry ones for grassroots and youth football. But then you move higher up. Again, if you're moving higher up, you want a senior B, not senior B, but senior A license or a pro license. That's costly, because you're supposed to be earning. This is your job. This is one thing. Yes, I know that people are comparing, say, hey, you know, they're much less qualified coaches in certain countries. In Spain, for example, is very, very cheap. The funny one with Spain is that the license is being cheap, that Spain is actually exporting a lot of coaches. Right? Oscar Bruzon is one of those products, let's say, and the others as well, of that cheap Spanish coaching system, which is sort of say helping the world. So therefore, cheap. I'm not a fan, because again, in Spain there is quality. Even those who haven't played football but understand football are coming in. In our system, yeah, it's a problem, and therefore I hope that the right steps are taken to take Indian football in the right direction. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to be discussing, sort of nothing happens. There is a saying in Bengali, farmers die out of hope. Indian football fans are just like that. Yeah, well said, Akash. Yeah, I know that. Let's see. Can you roast us, Kerala sportsmen, for splashing 100 crore for a problem game? Sorry, PR game. Renal, is it confirmed? I mean, they've now spoken a lot about it, but and you know, the Kerala Super League, or Super League Kerala, sorry, was somehow part of being linked to this whole thing. And are you sure that this game in the end will happen? You know. So therefore, yeah. So therefore, these are questions which needs to be asked. The Argentinians have, you know, the Argentinian Football Association has done some great PR for themselves around these things, but are these things really working and taking us forward? That's the real question, I would say, right? That's the question that there is, and Again, 100 crores for Argentina to play in Kerala. Wow. Is it going to help Kerala football? No, not at all. Not at all. And that's the reality. Rohit says, I'm reading that Shabir Ali created Shabir Ali Football Academy associated with Telangana Football Association, not Academy. I will look into that and possibly support the academy. Shabir would be surely happy if you can, let's see. Today, PT Usha met Amit Shah, discuss IOA. Yeah, Vignesh, that's another mess, where our All India Football Federation president is involved in. So it is, multiple issues, multiple problems here and there. And where is it? My question at the end of it is, where is Indian sports heading? Right? That's my big question. Football is just one example of where we are struggling at this moment in time. And can we take it to a different level? Can we grow the way we want it? And yeah, it's not easy. It is not easy at the moment, I think, to be someone supporting Indian football or Indian sports with all that's happening, and again, if India wants to become a sporting nation, I think a lot needs to happen in the psyche. Sports needs to become something very, very regular as part of the school curriculum. Only then can and will it grow, and the right people becoming PE teachers who are really dedicated to sports and want to, not just to look at it as a job, but really look at it as their mission in life to teach sports to kids, and that is it. 100 crores for a football game? Are you kidding me? This shows money is not the problem. This is just mismanagement. But Rohit, it is easier for you to say that I want to do a match against Argentina, potentially with Lionel Messi playing in Kerala. For that, it is easier to raise money than to say, listen, I've got an I-League 2 team or 3 team, and I want to play here or there. And that's something which is, with these are this is a crazy. So let's see. I don't know what's going to happen, and that's and just getting. Hiren has just forwarded me a tweet. Sorry, let me just have a look at it. Oh God. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what happens. There's this rumor that who's this gentleman is K. Nandakumar, is Joint Secretary, Volleyball Federation of India, General Secretary, Kerala, former, and he says, my advance congrats to Honorable President IOA, Madam G. God bless you with all happiness, success, Diwali, God bless you with Christmas. Okay. P.T. Usha could become the new sports minister. Okay, how that does that work? I don't know. Okay, wow. So then the craziness of what things are happening behind the scenes in sports in India, and again, the less we say, these are things that are happening in Indian sports. Something cooking behind. Yes, Vignesh, as you say, in 100 crore, they can easily renovate all the existing stadiums. I don't think so. 100 crores sounds a lot, but if you look at the state of some stadiums would need to be knocked down and rebuilt, Sports need to be given respect, like engineering by the school and colleges, and parents should get educated that sports can be a good career. Yeah, Neil, 100%. I think if you look at sports in India, I think for an Indian context, if you can become a proper athlete, for you, sports can be a career path. I think that should be the one thing that one should not forget. And that's something, big challenge, but it is. If you get to a decent level, you will earn money, right? And let's wait and see what happens. But these are things that are happening in Indian sports. And again, what is the right way forward? I don't know, but let's wait and see and hope that things at some stage move in the right direction, because I'm slowly getting fed up by talking about mostly about negative things, so Yeah, I want to talk about positive things. I want to see us progress, move forward, develop. But at the moment, we are so entrenched in this negativity, and I don't know. I don't know where this whole thing will go. How much IFF paid for Argentina match at Yuva Bharati Kirangan? Argentina was not paid by the IFA; they were paid by an agency, and um, and I think the Kolkata match was it at the time. I think 2011. I would think. What was the figure? If I'm right, if I remember right, I think we were talking in the region of, I think 30 crores, if I'm right. Which areas you think Kerala FA should focus more? Renal, the point here, there are 2 points. Let's put it this way. The Kerala Football Association's job is to run and manage football in Kerala, right? So the focus needs to be from top to bottom or bottom to top, however you want to see it, but they have to take care of the whole system across the state. They have to work towards ensuring that they have a strong league system for Pan Kerala as a state, which is the Kerala Premier League. Now they have on top of that the Kerala Super League. That's one. Then on the other side, their job is to ensure that there's a structure for the youth leagues in Kerala, which have also developed, interaction with the district associations, work on helping the districts to build their grassroots, their youth football, develop the Kerala state teams for the respective competitions. That's their job. That's their job at the moment. So therefore I'm saying from top to bottom, bottom to top, however you want to see it, that is the job of a state football association. It will be like a paid vacation for Argentina players and staff on a lighter note. Is it going to be? I think it would be hectic. I think they would be hounded. And I think it will be everything but a paid vacation. God's own country, as you think, for them would not be God's own country, because the craze around Argentina, anywhere in India would be insane. So that is an added pressure. It's not a pressure, but it creates stress, So therefore, having traveled and worked with teams, it's not fun. So therefore, it's not a paid. It's everything but a paid vacation. And what they're being paid for Indian standards seems like a lot of money, but for that kind of money, I think they would even go to think of going, let's say, to the Middle East or to China or to the US or even play somewhere in Europe. They get much more money. So that's also something. Is Bangladesh the best SAF team in both men's and women's, or is India still the best SAF team? In the women's, I would say yes, Bangladesh is the best. Yes, they have moved ahead of us. Something which I wouldn't have thought of saying two and a half years ago, because it looked like, when we lost 6-1 against Brazil, we hosted the AFC Women's Asian Cup and all those things. Looked like, we're moving ahead. On the men's side, I'm not sure if Bangladesh has moved ahead of us, but that we will learn next year. At the moment, still, at least on paper, we are the SAF champions. So let's wait and see what happens next year. Really, this is wastage of money, Akash, 100%. But again, these are PR stints. Politicians do that, spending it on Bollywood stars, on cricketers, on doing this, on doing that. Again, this, that's the problem. So much of negativity. Yeah, I would love to speak about positive things. Give me a positive topic and let's speak about it. I would love to do that, but that's the reality, guys. Pyutusha becoming sports minister, rumor and X. Yeah, Vignesh, that's what I said. Hiren, or Curious Harry, as you know, forwarded me something a little while back, and there were, let's see. Um, let's see what happens over there. Let's see what happens on that front. Again, this is India, right? Again, is it the right decision? Is it the right person? With all due respect, to me, it proves again and again that we need people with sports management skills and knowledge to be coming into sports. Otherwise, for sports, it's becoming very, very tough to survive. So that's something. Yeah, that's something. Let's wait and see. So many Nepalese and Bangladesh players play in Europe, and yet they don't get any media coverage. Arijit, why are you saying that? Because you don't hear it in India? Savitra Bhandari is a superstar in Nepal, right? So therefore, don't think that because we don't talk about it, we don't report about it, that they don't care. They're stars in their own rights. Don't, that's PT Usha should be better than Anurag. Akash would have to prove it if that's the case. But I would have my doubts. Shaggy comment that rumor. Okay, Vignesh. Do you think we literally bottled Asian Cup qualification round 3? Yes, of course, Renan. If you win your first match away to Kuwait and you get 1 point against Afghanistan, do we call it bottling or anything else? Of course we did. East Bengal in Challenge League is the only positive thing. Yeah. Now, since yesterday, yes. On Friday, they have to prove themselves. East Bengal on Friday will have to prove if they can get past Nejme and qualify for the knockouts, or if they fail. And therefore, that's going to be the challenge on East Bengal FC. I wish that East Bengal win that game and qualify as the toppers of the group. Otherwise, I think it will be difficult. A referee made horrendous decision. Are these referees not given any training? It's worse than referee appointed for local Kolkata leagues. Arijit, referees are making mistakes at all levels. I see that in the Champions League. I saw that at the Euros. Yeah, it's happened yesterday in the German Cup. It is. So these are all realities. And therefore, things don't seem to be changing. And therefore, my hope is, that refereeing does get better somehow, right? Is VAR the answer? I've said that now multiple times in Europe. It's something which is, if I look at some of the VR decisions, you think, is VR really the answer to all your problems? Most probably not. And that is all interlinked, right? And I know you were referring to the India-Nepal women's SAF match. Of course, the referee should have never allowed the match to restart, but she at least did this, so didn't allow the goal to stand. But still, the mistake was done, and the mess was created, and therefore,